Hello and welcome. Today we are going to tackle some of those tiny, really frustrating English grammar rules, the ones that can make a huge difference in your writing. But don't worry, we're going to uncover some simple shortcuts to make them finally stick. So let's just dive right in.
You know that feeling when you're just staring at a sentence, wondering, does this country need the word "the" in front of it? Or maybe you've been trying to describe a chart and you just can't find the right words to make a trend sound clear and professional. Well, you're definitely not alone, and we're going to solve these common headaches right now.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with that tricky "the" rule for places. Then we'll do a little time traveling with past tenses. After that, we'll power up your vocabulary for describing trends, and we'll finish up with some quick tips that pro writers use all the time. Let's get to it.
All right, first up, the rule for places. I know this one can feel super random, but I promise there's a really simple pattern here that makes it so much easier to remember. Okay, so just take a look at the pattern here. Over on the left, we've got these singular names, right? Brazil, London, Mount Kilimanjaro. For those, no thes needed. But then look at the right. We see names that are kind of a collection or a group, like the United States, the Nile, the Alps. Are you starting to see the pattern?
So here's the shortcut. If the name has a common word, like states, republic, or kingdom, you're going to use the. Same goes for groups like a mountain range, the Alps, or geographical types, like a river or a desert, the Nile, the Sahara. But if it's just a single standalone name, you can just skip the. Simple as that.
Okay, next up, let's talk about picking the right past tense. And this isn't just about boring grammar rules. It's about being able to control your story and making the sequence of events totally clear to your reader.
So, think of the past simple as a straight, chronological timeline. One thing happens, then the next thing happens. Sales rose in 2015, and then they fell in 2016. Because the order is super clear, you just use the simple past for both actions. See? Simple.
But what if you need to jump back in time? Well, that's where the past perfect comes in. It's basically your flashback tool. It sends a clear signal to your reader that you're talking about something that happened before the main past event you were just discussing.
Let's look at an example to make this really clear. By the time the report came out, revenue had already declined. So the report coming out, that's our main past event. But the decline happened even earlier. Using had declined makes that sequence impossible to misunderstand. Keep an eye out for signal words like by the time or before. They are huge clues that you might need a flashback.
Okay, next section. Let's get into the language of trends. Now, if you're writing an academic report or maybe taking a test like the IELTS, having the right vocabulary to describe data is absolutely essential.
This table right here is an amazing tool for describing charts. You've got your verbs for upward movement like rose and climbed, and for downward movement like fell and declined. But the real key is to pair them with adverbs to show how they changed. Rose steadily or fell sharply. Or, for some variety, you can use an adjective noun phrase like a sharp fall.
Now here's a pro move. Instead of using two short, choppy sentences, try combining them with what's called a participle phrase. For instance, sales rose to $8 million, reaching their highest point sounds so much more fluid and academic. Words like reaching, peaking at, or hitting a low of are absolutely perfect for this trick. All right, let's wrap things up with a few final quick tips. These are some small changes that honestly have a huge impact on how cohesive and precise your writing sounds.
Think of these words and phrases as signposts for your reader. You can use throughout the period to kind of set the scene. Meanwhile is great to show a comparison. At this point, let's use zoom in on a specific moment. And notably is perfect for flagging something really important. They basically guide your reader through your logic.
Okay, this one is subtle but so important. Thanks to almost always implies a positive cause. You'd say profits rose thanks to strong tourism. Due to, on the other hand, is neutral. It can be used for positive, negative, or neutral reasons, like a delay due to a technical failure.
And just a few more common traps to look out for. Reach is a great versatile verb you can use for any level, high or low. Peak, however, should only be used for the absolute highest point. And when it comes to memory, something external reminds you of something, but you remember it all on your own.
So what have we packed into your new writing toolkit today? Just remember the shortcut for the rule. Look for those classifying words. Use the past perfect for your narrative flashbacks. Combine your sentences with participles to sound way more fluent. And use those cohesive devices like signposts to guide your reader.
Okay, now it's time to actually put this into practice. As you think about what we've covered, I've got a question for you. Which one of these shortcuts is going to make the biggest, most immediate difference in your own writing? Start with that one.